What's up everybody, Brandon Johnson here again, and thanks for joining me. Well, we've done Deep River Blues, we've done Salt Creek, but we haven't done Big Sandy River. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. We're going to look at the old-time classic tune, Big Sandy River. And this is kind of a combination of a couple different versions, and it's a great beginner tune too because a lot of the measures actually repeat. The notes are the same. So we're going to be playing this one capo 2 out of the G position, so that's going to put us in the key of A. So it's a great song to know. I hope you enjoy this one. Let's check it out. Okay, let's take a look at Big Sandy River now. So we're taking a look at measure number 1 here, and measure number 1, you'll see a pickup measure there. It's a 2-note pickup, and we're going to start this pickup measure on a downstroke on the open high E. Now keep in mind we're playing here out of capo 2, so make sure you got your capo on the 2nd fret there. And we're going to start this out on the open high E to 2nd fret high E. And that 2nd fret high E is going to lead into the 3rd fret high E, and that's the first note of measure number 1. So that's kind of where the G chord will come in. Okay, so that open B right there after that 3rd fret high E, that's going to be a dotted 8th note. So we're going to let that ring out for a moment. And then we're going to pick up with 8th notes again on the 1st fret B to 2nd fret B. And you can hear kind of that chromatic walk up, right? Chromatic is each fret. Okay, so we have that chromatic walk up on the B there. And then continuing that kind of chromatic run, we're going to end up on that 3rd fret B. And that's going to start kind of the second half of this measure, which is all 16th notes. Okay, so you've got that 3rd fret B to open high E, and then you're just going to keep your ring finger kind of in position there to go back to that 3rd fret B. And then with your index finger, we're going to the 1st fret B to open. And then here I like to use my middle finger on the 2nd fret G. And then that 2nd fret D at the end of measure number 1. Okay, and that's going to lead us into measure number 2. Okay, and so what we're looking at here in measure number 2 is we're looking at just kind of a basic major scale over a D chord here. So in measure number 1, we had G for all 4 quarter notes, and then here in measure number 2, we have a D chord. So we're going to actually get into the D major scale here, and that's going to start, obviously, on the open D, which is, a nice place to start if you're playing in D major, right? Just start right on that root. And then we're going to walk up here, and we're going to walk up in intervals of 2 and 4. So it's going to be open D, 2nd fret D, 4th fret D, and then we're going to use those same intervals on the G. All right, so that's just a really straightforward kind of D major walk up there. And then once we hit that 4th fret G, we're going to start to actually walk back down the D major scale here. So we're going to go back down to 2nd fret G, to open G, and then we're actually going to go back to that kind of open D string again and sort of start kind of what we did at the beginning of measure number 2, the open D to 2nd fret D to 4th fret D again. Okay, and then right here what we're going to do is we're going to do something kind of unique, and we're going to play a little bit of a chord. We're going to form a chord with our left hand, sort of while we're playing this melody part or this lead part here. So if you look here at kind of at the middle of measure number 2, where you see that open D to 2nd fret D to 4th fret D, well, that 4th fret D, you're going to land there with your ring finger, right? And you've got these 2 fingers available to you, your index finger and your middle finger, right? So you'll see that 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B there, kind of at the end of measure number 2. And even though you're picking those as individual notes, what I'm actually doing here is I'm playing a variation of a D chord here with my index finger and my middle finger, and then I'm playing that 4th fret D with my ring finger, and I'm kind of forming this chord here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pluck the notes from that chord, and that's going to form kind of part of the melody here. And this is a move that I saw Jack Lawrence do, which I thought was really cool. Okay, you're going to land on that 3rd fret B on a downstroke, and that 3rd fret B is going to be an 8th note. So there's a slight pause there. So you can see I'm just holding that kind of D chord inversion there. And then after that 3rd fret B, you can see we're actually playing the open E to 2nd fret E again, right, which is the pickup notes that we had at the beginning of measure number 1. So I'm sure you can kind of guess what's coming next in measure number 3. Okay, before we go to measure number 3, let's play measures 1 and 2 now, all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that 3rd fret high E right there is going to be the beginning of measure number 3. Okay, looking at measure number 3 now, you'll notice that measures 1 and 3 are identical. And when I played the example there, I just included the open high E to 2nd high E right there that were at the end of measure number 2. And that 3rd fret high E is going to be the beginning of measure number 3. So it's played exactly the same with the same inflection and the same stroking pattern. Okay, so let's take a look at measure number 4 now. Okay, so measure number 4 here in this case is going to be kind of the turnaround measure for the A part. And we're going to be starting out here exactly the same way we did in measure number 2, which is the open D to 2nd fret D to 4th fret D. Remember, we were playing kind of that D major scale. And again, we have a D chord here for the first 2 quarter notes of measure number 4. So we're going open G, 2nd fret G, open G. And then here we're going to go to that 4th fret D, 2nd fret G, And then you'll see the open G, and that's going to land on the G chord on the third quarter note of the fourth measure here. So we're actually kind of playing the D major scale for the first half, and then sort of moving to the G major scale for the second half of this measure. And then here we have the slide up from the 4th fret D to the 5th fret D, and that's going to be on an upstroke. And then we're going to have a downstroke on the open G right at the end there. So that 5th fret D and that open G, those are actually going to be the same note. And you'll hear that a lot in bluegrass when, when they slide into the octave like that, and it gives it kind of a unique sound. So you can kind of hold that there. You can hold that 5th fret D while that open G is ringing out, and you get kind of a doubling effect. And I'm sure you can kind of hear that's a turnaround. So after measure number 4, you'll see that repeat sign. So measures 1 through 4 repeat once. Okay, now let's play measures 3 and 4 all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's take a look at the A part now. Measures 1 through 4, all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that leads us into measure number 5.